Um,
Seven is divine. Seven is divine.
we're gonna talk about some kids today. Our kids in general, having kids, the experience being a father, normal stuff that we usually go with, and then any certain specific thing you want to draw today. Or you just working on stuff?
No, I'm just
Aimless sketching
I'm
today.
just on aimless sketch. I'm trying to get better sketching because one thing I've noticed about my art is I'm kind of losing my uh fundamentals are off. Like I can make some stuff look pretty. It's just ugly trying to get it done, and I can't do that anymore. Because like the project I'm working on now, it's like and over and over and over in my head, but I don't use the formula. Just a second, please. Oh, okay. I don't have I don't use a formula to make everything to where it's simplified enough for me to finish it in an efficient time.
Okay.
I'm working on it for a long time. I'm taking time out of my life that I shouldn't. This is that and the third, and it adds a lot more stress than I go back to some. I actually thought about picking up one of the. You remember back in the day the Scholastic Book Fair draw me books, like the draw superhero or draw animals.
Probably because that would always be the ones I'd gravitate towards too. Window shopping.
Yeah. Actually, I actually have see. This is my thing. I'm late to have the material. I don't open.
Dude.
But yeah,
I got this little man over here that I don't use and I need to be using because I want to start making my book.
We're all guilty of something, aren't we? I haven't got a sketch off in here. Don't tell me. That better no. Anyways, that must be my wow. But yeah, so I think I might even let this kind of guide my hand. Anything is possible in the sketch world, but.
So speaking of kids, since he's not going to see this for another 16 years, what's your what was the Christmas list like for Zach? What was his Christmas list like?
Oh, his list.
Yeah,
I thought you said the Christmas list.
Oh no, sorry.
Zach did not have a list this
year.
Yeah, not quite to the Santa concept yet.
Okay.
Just now getting warmed up to really knowing what Christmas is. This year, you can see he has like the period and the kind of. I probably should introduce because watching all the Christmas holiday shows like Winnie the Pooh holiday or Trolls holiday, and I'm like,
okay, you're giving him all cartoons that don't have Santa in it. You're giving him all the cartoons that don't have Santa. Well, Winnie the Pooh should
do that.
Winnie the Pooh should.
Winnie the Pooh has like I think they all dress up kind of like Santa.
Yeah. Festive hat thing.
But I know I haven't did anything like specifically.
I didn't do that.
Like we haven't done the Tim Allen Santa Claus yet.
You haven't showed him Jingle All the Way and show him who Turbo Man really is.
Well, that's one of my favorites. And honestly, it became funnier as an adult than it was.
It's cheesier.
Shouts out to Sinbad. No, Sinbad carried that shit, man.
Like no, on that Brain Man's costume, whatever the hell his name was, Brain.
The bomb it is. Big people live in the sick world. But
real bomb.
That was a bomb. His face was like, okay. Anyway, no, the time is coming for that. But like I was saying, like I don't get a lot of time with them shift at work.
Yeah. So
I don't really be up on spending time watching movies. My mornings are like I said, I don't even think about putting on a movie in the morning because anything I do, I'm calculating going to work at 2.
Yeah.
I think this weekend, probably dip into some more holiday stuff. I'm feeling a little bit more holiday cheer here lately. Glad for that. Like in the last couple days, don't worry, dog. Like,
my Hennessy at.
If I could drink, I would be pinky on Christmas right now. But right now I'm just taking it easy.
It's a different kind of tired when you're not like when the alcohol's not in your system after 30 days. It's just a different kind of tired. Like you can get up and
Yeah,
stretch and feel replenished, but when
yeah.
you're coming off of like a even like one or two like shots or one or two glasses of like liquor or a mixed drink,
hmm
the next day you'll feel it. Especially the sugary drinks, like it
Will.
just get you.
But then for me, it started taking like a day and a half or three to like really get out of the effects of having to drink.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't need this right now, dog.
I think the reason why is because like depending on how you use your body after a certain point in time, it just sits like everything else does in your body.
Well, my diet and physical activity habits are trash. So let's just ring that all in. And any problems that will come with overweight from alcohol, I'm experiencing right now. But nah, I am excited that Zach is getting into the holiday spirit, and you just reminded me get some of that feeling in his chest that I used to have.
Kind of gave me a revelation on how to be better as far as like celebrating. I don't know what happened to me, man. Like,
What's up, Scrooge?
so it's not that I don't like Christmas. I usually just celebrate it for family, but after a while, the younger me just kind of like tired with it when it comes to holidays.
Ah man, you lives in them boys.
Yeah.
That's why we talking about kids. Honestly, that's one of the things that I want to touch on about kids is how much Zach is kind of like not even necessarily like reawaken a child's side of mine, but it's more so like he helps me remember what that little boy was. Like, you know what I mean? Especially since I be having so many moments, like just black men in general, or men in general have moments where like they try to fix things from their childhood kid, and like you can address it, but you can't approach it like that because you was in them shoes at one point in time or the other. So
I guess I have to look at it that way because I look at it from a point that I have to be the one that leads them to a knowledgeable and wise future. So I guess I lost that tendency, and I understood that I lost it. Like there was a point in time where I was just I don't know I'm not as I'm more festive now than I was when I first started having kids. Like my first boys, I guess even knowing my daughter too, because it would also trickle down to my nieces and nephews when we were all living under one roof. But no, like I just kind of lost this sense of being able to celebrate it as a child. I celebrated it on the simple fact that I get to hang with family, but yeah, that childlike wonder for holidays was gone for a long time.
give it to my son, man.
Because now I'm
At
just
this
like
point,
when people go like, "Hey, what do you want?" I'm like, "Just shop for the boys," because I don't want anything, and I'm being completely honest.
real.
Yeah, because
You want no shirt, no FUBU short set or nothing?
I'm an expensive date, and usually I can buy my own stuff. So I'm like, if you're gonna spend your money, spend it on my boys because, you know.
I'm an expensive date. At least you admit it. You know what I mean? Like I'm a pick out a vinyl.
Yeah.
I'm a pick out a shirt. If you ask me, well, normally, like my thing is, I ain't about to say I don't like people shopping for my son because that's bull crap. But I like to be in control of what's in the house a little bit more.
Okay.
And it's not even in a bad way because they got a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But when I say get something for the kids, it's gonna shirts that I don't need that they ain't never gonna wear. Some more. Yeah. Gotta specify.
People will be like, "Hey, what do they want?" I'm like, "No toys."
Yeah, because like how I told you about Zach's birthday, I wasn't trying to be like mean about it or anything.
No, we understood.
And then I started to think about like how spoiled we were, how grateful we were supposed to be, and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, how can you do anything otherwise when you're already flooded with toys?
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? This other kind of stuff. Doors are filled.
Right.
You can't even hardly close them. Your cup is running over.
See with us, we were like, okay, whatever they haven't touched in months, gone. Like like when you lay out all the toys and they go to pick like a good 5 to 7, you can go start throwing away 13 out of all 50 of them.
Yep.
And then what I do, I slowly throw them away. If I see that they're just laying on the ground, and like they haven't moved, or they only moved because I'm telling you to clean your room, but they're only out because you dumped everything out, I start slowly throwing stuff away.
You gotta donate them bad boys, man.
Yeah, and I told myself one year to start doing that because we had an abundance of toys, but no, I think that's a good idea.
If you next time you do that, hit me up because
Doo-doo.
I'm.
I'm childish.
I love it. I love it because I was hoping you would catch it because I knew I was gonna say it.
I usually say it in my head when people do it, and I laugh to
You can't
myself.
say it yet.
But no,
This is the place to do it.
yeah.
Fine, ain't it? Yeah, hit me up next time you do that.
Oh yeah, okay. No, yeah, that's a good idea because yeah, our first thing is like no trash, and I think a lot of times is because Kai is rough with toys, so a lot of breaking, and
That's
I don't
fair,
want to
too.
give anyone broken toys, because like they had this big T-Rex that we had Aslan's birthday, and Kai likes to take other boys' toys and be like, "This is mine," and I'd be like, "No, it's not yours. You're playing with it to
It's
try to have some kind of
territorial.
dominance, but understand it's not your toy."
I'm not gonna leave here with this player. Nothing. I mean,
So they finally destroyed that, the foot off of it. Like there's a peg that goes in it. They broke the peg. You can't like I'm not super gluing it. And
what
then,
is it?
So like they had this like T-Rex and the foot of it where you should be able to snap it in and out. They broke the peg of it.
Oh, okay.
So you'd have to super glue it together, and at that point it's pointless because you're just gonna break it again. And like when they understand something's broken, they will continue to break it. Like it's their main focus. Like Kai has a thing when we go to my mom's house. There's the Spider-Man toy where the head comes off pretty easy, and he'll pop it off every time we go over there. And then like he'll have it on his finger or something. So like they have this thing where like they know it's broken. They're just like, oh, I remember this snaps. And it's in my head, I'm like, it's not supposed to snap that way.
One of our transformers that we have now.
Put on the dresser at night.
Nah, man, I kind of laid the part back over off like as I think it was like a head or an arm, something kind of important, but I didn't say nothing because I'm out. Like I'm not rough with him, but if it's gonna break, it's gonna be in my hands.
Right.
That's just what it is. I always break some shit. But I slid that motherfucker over, stopped playing with it. And I really broke that man's toy. But like, I don't know, like toys always be getting broke, but
Usually heavy handed.
he had some fire toys too, man.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he had all the connects and erector sets and stuff, all the stuff. I like, guess what he is now? Engineer.
I hated the fact that like when I was younger, I didn't have the imagination or the skill to put my imagination to building better things when I was a kid with connects.
Bro, you know how much I sucked at Legos? Down the connects, I didn't even make it to the connects because I didn't get no Legos.
I did connects because I couldn't do Legos.
I probably could have. You know what I did that would be the closest to any of that? Model car. Oh man, I love some. Even to this
like
day.
painting them or putting them together.
What'd you say?
Like painting them or putting them together.
Putting them together. I tried to paint them, and I didn't know how the enamel paint worked.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize you had to prime the plastic.
Oh. Okay.
And that enamel paint, if you primed it, it would have went on. Had that oil on mixed in with it.
Okay.
And, oof. But
that's what got me into doing Gundam.
How many Gundams do you got?
Let's see. I think in my lifetime I've had maybe 3.
Oh, okay.
It's because like I was never really like, you know, blessed with being able to get my own stuff, and then like
well, that's kind of like me.
When birthday came around, I didn't think about asking for Gundam. I was thinking about all the other stuff, but I had an interest in it. So like whenever you wanted something, it was either birthday or Christmas.
Might have did about 6 or 8 cars. That's wild because it was so many years been doing them. Between that, I stopped at. My parents bought me an old Mercedes-Benz model, and it was actually, and I kept losing pieces or stuff wasn't fitting or I was missing stuff. I even went back to it a couple times because I still really dig doing it, but yeah, it just didn't work out.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna try to get Zach forward in that at a little earlier age. My mom was she was one of those ones about the small pieces.
Yeah.
To have small pieces and stuff. I don't want it. Right. You're gonna lose it. Okay. I've been thinking about that. I actually bought Zach some Legos for Christmas. For an upset. And I'm trying to get him a table to where he can build on top of. You know how they got them tables.
Yeah, we wanted to get one for boys.
They expensive for
like
what?
All you have to do.
You know, if you got like a small kids table already, or if you buy one second hand, you can just buy the slats Legos for like $15 each.
Cheaper.
I cut them up myself if I got to. You know what I mean?
This is what you really gotta do and glue it down. So you can get like a $30-$40 table. Get one of those slabs and.
I'm crafty. I do not mind, and neither does Zach because he don't know what the hell it is until I introduce it to him anyway. So I mean, let's go.
That's what we were wanting to do, and then we tried the table. We met, or my dad and his girlfriend at the time got us the table for the boys, and it's one of those ones that has the styrofoam top and the like the leather or something like that covering. First week, pour into it. And then, of course, with kids, when they see that something's ruined, they ruin it more. Paint, they pull off the wall. The table, they kept pulling the thing off, and then they pulled more pieces off, and they were pulling the stuffing out. And then they did it on the chairs. With paper, they see that one thing's ripped. They just rip the entire thing, and then rip that thing into pieces.
That's the shit that I wanted to do. That was the shit I was also getting asked for. I mean, if the Nerf ball had a bite at the end, okay, cool. But I mean, you didn't have a few of them phone joints, man.
So have you saw the meme where somebody they have it where they're like, but why was there always a bite taken out of this thing?
Yeah, no, that's where I got it from because it was so true. I didn't realize. I mean, I kind of did because you go to everybody's house in the same spot or kind of one off to the side.
Dude, do you ever get mad when you were a kid, or even now, like you go to pick one up and it looks like a perfectly like good ball, and you go to look,
it ain't right until it's a chunk out anyway. So you know, I get mad if it ain't a chunk out.
I would put my finger in where the hole is to throw it.
Yep, that was that extra index getting that flick out of it.
Or if it's in the middle, you put your finger. I was like, okay, one bite is fine. When there's two bites, I don't want to play with it.
Two more psychotic. You did not want to go to his house no more.
I'd be so excited to go to a kid's house and go, oh, they got a foam ball. Man.
No, and then you got the kids got the foam ball and that motherfucker be all crusty. Ain't be kind of coming up off the, let this out for how long? I want to play with it? Oh, man.
I would look at a ball first before I touched it because just know if I want to touch it.
Well, if it was a basketball, I wouldn't look. But like one of them foam balls that looked like they soaked up everything. That was different. Ain't nobody chewing on no goddamn basketball like that. That's a real psycho right there. Yeah. You go to somebody's house, they chewing on the basketball.
Not an orange, man.
Nah, man. It makes me curious. See what these little jits. What
you
the future
use the term jit. That's where's that term from?
I don't know.
Is it a Jersey term?
Sometimes it just fits. I very rarely I've never really that word, but it's almost on the level of I'll never say the word Riz unless I'm talking shit to some Riz.
Piss him off. Did you
so
riz
funny.
Each other up? Do you riz your homeboy
you ain't got no
today?
riz. I just start talking shit like a 44-year-old instead of a 34-year-old. But
I'll be playing Titanfall, and I didn't realize how many high school kids play that. Like freshmen. That's an older game. So Titanfall 2.
Oh, Titanfall 2.
Yeah. So that's an older game. Actually, I got it right here. But I didn't expect high school kids to be playing like freshmen now.
Titanfall. Who made Titanfall?
It's amazing. And the thing is that the reason why it's back is because the servers were getting DDoS by hackers, and so they finally fixed it after years, and like it's heavily playable again. But when I stream, like I have this one guy, his name's Caden. We usually play together on Fridays. He's having some issues right now though with his equipment. But like he'll bring some people on. Like he's very social when it comes to games. Me, I'm just like, oh, if we talk, we talk. If not, whatever. Like he's open to go like invite people to parties so they can voice chat and stuff. So I envy that. But like I've never understood how out of place and at the same time annoyed I am with teenagers and listening to them use their lingo.
And look, I'm old. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I am old. For you to catch me using that was is far and few. Because first of all, teenagers can't stand. Like I can't stand teenagers. So I mean the feeling is mutual. But
Kids.
basically, them is the kids I be talking about. The little innocent ones is cool. As soon as they like get to the age to where they know better,
Yeah.
Zach is almost out of there. He about to start pissing me off.
That's Kai. Boy, he's annoying on purpose. He gets that from his mom. Like he has this thing I call idiot voice, and so like whenever he wants to be annoying on purpose, he'll get loud. And I know he has a lot of energy, but I know he does it on purpose because he knows it annoys the hell out of me. He gets loud. And then, like, whenever he's trying to say something, like, the other day, he woke up singing Merry fucking Christmas. No, Jingle Bells. He woke up singing Jingle Bells. Like, me and her are talking because we got up early. And then, next thing I know, all I hear is, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle all the way. And then he goes, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell.
Why you gotta do Patrick Star though?
He does dumb voice for some reason. He'll do that whenever he's doing something. He'll just do dumb voice. So like whenever he's like, okay, let's say he's telling, and like sometimes like he'll like have a conversation with himself. Like he'll be like he'll recite a line from a movie. Like let's say the line was, "Don't go down in the basement." He'll say it to himself a couple times, and he'll go, "Don't go down in the basement." I'm just like you. Hard.
You gotta laugh.
I can't say that because I've been trying.
You gotta laugh.
And see that's what I'm saying. Like I that childhood wonder because I still do that. But when I hear my kids do it, I'm like, you fucking idiot.
But that's what I was saying. Like you gotta remember, you don't even know why it was shit that you do.
I still do.
But like
shit.
parenthood is all about like looking at them like. It's just like. It's like that, man. But nah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll be giving that look too. Like Zach is real affectionate. Well, and I'm not a very affectionate person at all. I can be like, but
I feel that one.
Honestly, it's just saying in my it's not a good look for me. It's a good look. It's just not a good feeling for it. Just look, you know. Zach will crawl up on his mama. She's very affectionate, so of course she's just soaking it all in. And he'll do this and he'll up and look at me. He ain't got to the point to where he's smiling yet, but that moment he cracked that smile.
Look at Silas, he goes,
I don't know. He probably won't smile at me. I know he knows. I already got that Samuel Jackson look on my face on Black Snake on there. The boy senses danger quite well, but not for real.
I have to give that look like 50 times a day.
I bet you. I mean, what dad don't? I know my dad would have way more if he was
Softies. Soft dads, like
yeah,
no,
I guess so.
Tyler, don't. Come on, man. Hey, buddy, let's not do that. No, I'm like,
you know what? In a lot of cases, I've caught myself. I am a softie. Like even with your boys, like I mean here.
That's different because they're not your kids,
Nah,
and I'm here.
I'm about touche. But we let them do all kinds of shit. Even he sit up here in the room was like, "Now I know your daddy would say no, but come on in here, let's turn up."
And
real
that's
quick.
why they like you. They're like you. They're like mom. They're like they actually enjoy Zach because Zach's you guys are pretty much the same. Like they'll play, but then he's like, all right, no. Zach's more leaning towards me than he is Danielle.
That's funny, but yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a thing. Like me and Zach, he knows like if I get to the point to where I'm right there, I done already told him a few times. We done already played about it a bunch of times. Just I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know no dad that didn't ever hit that corner and like or pull up. Like everybody knows that'll shut.
Dude, I had to do that the other day, and I actually laughed at myself for this one. So
You got to.
I was in the restroom, and the way the couch is, like, you can actually lean in, and if the restroom door's open, you can already kind of see. But I made sure he saw that I was looking at him, and so like it played out in my head like a Vine skit where like he was sitting there playing around, and like I heard him because he's supposed to be going number 2, so he likes to sit there and play sometimes, and so I heard him. I paused the game, and I was like, so from his end, you can probably see my neck and head just doing this, eyes wide open. For me, I just see he's just sitting like, when they double take and they just kind of stare at you, like, yeah, I see you, and I see that you see me seeing you.
Yep.
And then they drop that head, like, all right. I was just like, hurry up.
Kai is funny, dog. But yeah, it's
people be laughing at him when we're around company. People will be like, and then laugh, and then he thinks he's gonna be a class clown.
Yep.
And he's gonna be the reason why I go to that school, and my box is like, boy,
I brought my belt. Pull up. Gonna be the one to pull up.
Yeah.
Is your belt gonna be on or off?
Oh, it'll be on. I'll be wearing basketball shorts with a belt on. Mr. Hamilton, what do you do?
You gonna be like Pootie Tang wearing them overalls with the belt?
When I braid my hair, I already look like the motherfucker. Huh? That's why I was at the wedding, calling myself DJ Pootie.
All right, might have to run with that one, though.
DJ Tootie Pang. For copyright infringement and shit.
There you go. Tootie Pang.
Tootie Pang. You know what? That gives me an idea. I'm gonna make a song with his voice in it somehow, and I'm gonna call it Pootie. No,
he already
Tootie
got
Pang.
that song out. It's called. Turn that noise down.
Oh my god! As a kid, that was one of the funniest things in that movie.
Because my man was up here like just
turn that noise down, damn it.
Oh man, that was gold.
And then he should have turned around and said, I don't want no trouble.
You know, I started doing that at work. If I say that to the wrong person, I'm gonna get my ass whooped.
They're gonna be like, what? Oh, nothing.
Nothing. I don't want any problems.
Oh, okay. No, it's all right.
What you want?
Alright. You just unlock my door.
No, wait.
No, he unlocked it. He knows how to unlock it.
Oh, he's good.
Okay. Well, what was I gonna say? Nope. Okay.
Oh. I'll come back to that one later.
That one's gone in space.
Back to these babies, man.
Okay, how about this? Let me ask you a serious question. What were some major changes you saw within yourself that you're very proud of before, like the transition of before having a kid, finding out you're having one, and then now having one and dealing with one at him being at the age of 3, yeah. So before having a kid, like, okay, kind of give me some points of where you were at before having a kid when you found out, and then now having him at the age of 3, and with one more on the way. What are some things that stand out to you that have changed within you that you're very proud of?
Man, I thought I was perfect. And not in a way that like I was arrogant or anything, but like I thought what I was doing was the right thing all the time.
Okay.
And dealing with a family, dealing with a woman, dealing with her kids, our kids, her kids, my kids, I've learned a lot. Grace is one of the biggest things I've learned being a dad because uh, I didn't have any thoughts of people just not simply being able to do one thing or the other, and I started seeing a lot of my dad and my son.
Mhm.
And I would never say that that's just a terrible thing, but it wasn't. It's not perfect, and I was starting to see feel way about myself and not had confidence.
Yeah.
So I started turning to my dad a little bit, which is, like I said, not a bad thing. Not a
Not
good
at
thing.
all.
Not a good thing, but not a bad thing.
There was things to be learned and changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've really been looking at like repeating cycles, making sure that I can check myself. I've learned, checking myself has been a big one
So
because
breaking generational
I ain't really
curses.
nowhere. Yeah, yeah. I ain't nowhere.
Yes.
But yeah. I learned a lot of grace.
I want to say, I think the best way to put it for us is that we learned to break the curses that our fathers were learning to break themselves. So like each time that one of us was born, we were taking on what we learned and wanted to change it. So in the time that our fathers were living before us and when they had us up until we separated and like they were able to figure things out and learn and change on their own, they were going through the same cycle. But from their era, it seemed to be a lot more difficult because the refining moment or the refining factor about being a man from their time is who they are now, and they're starting to understand that like maybe I don't have to be this way for the rest of my life, because it was a very rough, difficult time for men like that. Like one, like you don't know if you're being drafted or not to a war that you don't want to fight, that you don't feel like is your own. Work is the main focus because
wait. What year was your Damn, what?
times in the 50s, 60s,
Okay.
60s.
My dad was
60s.
born in '58. They
Okay.
wasn't drafted though. They draft for
Vietnam War. I mean, oh, oh, really? Oh, okay.
well, no, the Vietnam War was the '70s, right?
Uh huh.
So if
Oh no, you're right. They probably weren't.
they weren't quite
Your
old
dad
enough.
might have been.
Nah, because he
No.
would have had to been
76.
because he was when in 1970. My dad was 12.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh yeah, and I think it was like from
75.
75.
Yeah.
So he was almost there. You know what I mean? We had an
Funny.
uncle that died in the
Everything for Vietnam started in 55.
what?
Yeah.
They was fighting that long?
20 years.
They wildin'.
That was 20 goddamn years. Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't have drafted that late.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have drafted.
Okay, so corrected. No, not the drafting part, but like I guess coming from fathers who were drafted. So
Yeah, I mean, like, even still, the household had that area.
there was a structural understanding, like, hey, because the draft can happen to any time. Be this kind of man by this age.
Well, my grandpa was a Korea vet.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to negate the
No,
with the timeline difference,
Yeah,
but
more of an understanding.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, my dad came from being born in the house,
Mhm.
holes in the floors, type shit. Like he was very poor.
Yeah.
So that whole area, like where he wanted to do, sure that he never had to live. Yeah, that came in heavy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he overcompensated. he wouldn't have known if he didn't.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
And depending on where you were living in the country, there were some, economic issues going on too, especially in the 80s.
but it just goes to show you, yeah, this is the kind of the mindset that these folks
Yeah,
was coming from.
yeah,
My dad picked cotton. Um,
yeah. You.
yeah, not in the way, but in the sharecropping way, which is a generous step forward.
Okay.
But yeah, man. I mean, that stuff ain't too far away. But like going from a byproduct of that mentality to fully understanding that that's from what seems like is centuries behind us.
And even that's short.
Huh?
And even that's short.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, centuries, between 2 to 3, that's 3 grandparents. If they all lasted 100.
But we did have things that made us think a certain way, regardless. And for us to try to put so much control on what the kids don't watch is more stress than it needs to be. You fighting the whole world with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no shit. Oh well. I'm just kind of curious to see what my son's gonna have to deal with the world, how he's gonna respond to it.
I got the Three Stooges in the other that goddamn room. I'm trying to figure out how
at least
they're
there's
gonna
3
fit
of
it.
them. You know what people gonna do with them? Oh, we'll talk about them. They're gonna be a subject of conversation
Between them and then all my nieces and nephews, the Hamiltons are gonna run this city for a little bit.
All right,
and not in the best way.
Hey man, don't say that. You never know, right?
It's just like they
bad.
No, but like because there's so many of us, they're gonna know to stick together. So if anyone's trying to like pick on one, and they call each other up,
in the unity,
and especially knowing how me and my sisters operate, especially me, it's like if you mess with one Hamilton, you're messing with all of them. We know how to hold our own, and we're all about one-on-ones. But if you're thinking about like if you're like a 2-on-1 and you're a 2 against one Hamilton, well, either disappear or be ready for what's coming, because like you don't get to do that.
My family were not fighters. I'm the younger brother, so that's a whole nother thing. A lot of people. My sister actually fought a 5th grader for me.
You were getting picked on by a 5th grader? No, I was the big kid.
In 1st grade?
I was always the big. So until middle school, I was always one of the either tallest or biggest kids.
Nah, I mean like got picked on by the old.
No, because usually I was about their height.
I wasn't that big. Well, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't even that fat enough.
I guess I can't say that. I mean, because I obviously knew when a kid was.
Bro, you went to Brooks. You didn't get picked on by 8th graders?
No. Yeah, I wasn't. I was. Well, So no, it's not like I ever got bullied or anything. But like as far as my presence,
8th graders.
As far as my presence goes, I was probably non-existent.
At least you was non-existent then.
Well,
because I was a target, boy.
Like by 8th grade, everyone was actually starting to like. I was more known. I guess I wouldn't say popular, but I was more known. So I was a bit funnier. I was a bit more present. I've been there all 3 years, so like people know me. But like I was more like some of the people from the basketball team made more acknowledges to me, and like but by that point they also knew that I was kind of funny.
I was a lot of shit back in middle school. Brooks was always mad for parents was kind of started getting real concerned about me. Brooks, I was just late blooming. Like I said, kids was kind of like making fun of me. I was big soft.
Okay.
So it was. I played football and shit. But I didn't have the fight react.
Right.
I didn't ever kick in like when it needed to. I would get mad afterwards type shit. So I didn't want to fight people.
What was that guy's name on of Mice and Men?
George. Or no, George was the little one, wasn't he? But Lenny,
Of course, Lenny. Lenny. Yeah, got that Lenny factor about you.
nah, I kind of have always been like, and Zach is going to be this way too, because I was an affectionate little boy.
Yeah.
I was a mama's boy. My daddy worked second shift and home and regulate much like I do. But if that's all you get from him, that's all you're gonna see. I hated that.
Yeah.
But just like navigating that and watching and seeing is just what is he gonna really like get a hold of? I don't know how big he's gonna, but I'm actually doing a lot of work on him being mean.
Yeah.
And letting him not scolding him if he gets.
You mean like standing up for himself?
A lot of parents kind of stop them from doing that, but yeah, standing up for himself is a big thing. But well, I can't really say it right, but I was scared to like get in trouble and get in fights and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, because and honestly, it all depends on how you parent. I don't know. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It is tough because you got to see.
Tell me your mentality about it right now. So, like, what's your plan for Zach when he has to stick up for himself?
I see Zach getting hurled around or getting made fun of in a situation where he needs to punch a kid. I'm back in the bushes like Homer did. But I got to be able to see. Because I'm not going to let him get hurt, but I have to let him get hurt.
Yeah.
Has to know it's real. I think that's what happens with a lot of kids when it comes to spoiling.
They don't know what
they don't know.
To get hurt.
They don't know what's real. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like a lot of the times girls go off with these crazy dudes because they really don't know what's real, and by the time they figure out,
and they think they know better.
So I have to let them get knocked on his. Fortunate. I was always cradled, and that's not my dad's fault. My dad would have handled things a little differently, but my mom was very overprotective, especially over me because I'm the only.
Yeah.
Her little brother is the baby of the family, which she took care of for a while, not because of the absence of her parents, but that's their age group was. This is my baby, you know. This is my 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So, I'm 34, not even 20.
Oh.
So yeah, I kind of like do that.
Okay, what do you delegate the stands on him physically standing up for himself if it was like a verbal abuse? Like a verbal bullying or anything like that. Physically, obviously, it's like if they put one hand on you, go all out. Don't kill him.
My thing is, you give him a couple shots. Somebody's going to mess with you. You have to let them know that somebody's going to fun. Somebody's going to go out in the crowd.
Yeah,
happen to react so violently or so bad that it makes.
Yeah.
So just kind of second time or let it go until it makes you feel comfortable. Then you make, hey man. Give them a verbal warning, shake your head, this and that and the third. Other times, like after that, you go ahead and you cuss them out. Or it just seems like so many. I've only given people, honestly.
For what?
4 chances.
Oh, I'm a 3 strikes you're out kind of guy.
I mean, I'm just kind of thinking about the situation and it'll change. And if you got that daily bully in school, it's a 1-2.
Right.
It's a 1-2. You got somebody that kind of randomly, like, you just got to make sure you yourself enough.
Yeah.
Like somebody, you know what I mean? Like, like, then you don't want to have to do it all the time.
Right.
That's the thing. So just after you let somebody know, let them know, but maybe a little more aggressive.
It is progressional, but depending on the situation, that progression can happen in a matter of seconds, a matter of minutes, or days.
Oh, it's not a time period at all. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Somebody's repeatedly calling you the B word. You say shut up in the middle of the first, second, third sentence.
Right. So that's a progression of time where it's like an instantaneous thing. Like if someone's doing it live,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, like I've given you 3 chances now. If you continue to bother me, then something's gonna happen. Like yeah, that's an immediate thing. But like you were saying, like there are different times. Like let's say somebody's just randomly doing it. Like say what week 1 and then week 4 and then week 7. It's like, hey, look, I've tried to tell you and I've tried to be nice. Like you can't keep doing this to me. I don't appreciate it.
Right.
And then to be and like the more it happens, be a little louder about it, because like as long as you can get comfortable with understanding that you have to let your surroundings know that you are in a position of being uncomfortable,
I always
then you have witnesses.
Tell an adult.
Yeah.
If it's a school situation, tell the teacher.
Yeah.
Because if this teacher comes,
snitching.
If this teacher comes to me, says I had no idea what was going on, I'm gonna be on your ass.
Yeah.
Because I don't like bullies.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to find out, you know, like if you're not telling the teacher that something's happening, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So let this teacher know what's going on. I don't expect you to do shit about it. Let's be real. The teacher's not gonna do it. That's just the idea I have burnt in my head based off experience and just general faith in humanity.
Yeah.
But if she can tell me that Zach came up and told me that this was happening, I'm not. You're not even in trouble at that point.
Yeah.
Because I was so much the person. I never messed with anyone. Mine was always just real explosive. I didn't never hit too many people. People. It was just always real explosive. I got in trouble for standing up and cussing a girl out in the 8th grade because she repeatedly called me stupid and said anything. Literally trying to get help on my homework, which is how you get unstupid. So, bitch, I know. Shut up. But so I got in trouble for that. But a lot of people actually stopped messing with me because of how mad they saw me get, not because of how weak they thought I was too big to be that mad.
Yeah.
It's just like
the hope.
So, but yeah, no, I actually I studied that a lot. And and they get to the point where I'm not gonna let my son go out here and experience this and continually get in trouble because I know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna paint him to be a certain way.
Yeah.
It's either gonna be a saint or a sinner.
Yeah.
And the sinner's list is enormous, right?
Yeah.
But I maybe be in that gray area somewhere where it's just kids. It's just
for me, like I'm already prepared to teach them how like self-defense. With Kai, he's already, you know, when he gets mad, he stomps off and goes punches stuff. So I already got to deal with that. Like I said, dude, like he's 3 going on 13. He's not turning 4 next year. He's in January. He's turning fucking 13.
That fool a job application.
I feel like Azarin and Zach are very similar. Azarin's the big teddy bear, but I know he's got that killer instinct in him because I see the way he treats our chickens. He's got that Lenny feature in him, man.
Oh,
like so, like he's very like with you. He wants to be picked up. He wants to play. Like same way with Danielle. Like with me, he don't come to ask me to pick him up because he knows I won't. But I'll play with him.
How you let me pick him up, then?
I don't.
Oh, I just do it. Okay,
y'all don't ever listen to me.
That rule. I made that rule. My bad.
I'd be like, answer or no, and then you, Zach, my dad, everyone, they're like, all right, come on, and I was like, but I don't try to take that away from you guys because you know, Zach, I have to be like, no, for real, because Zach, he's like, he's got some like back injury issues or whatever, so I have to be like, Zach, remember, no, and he's like, no, can't today, and I have to like be like, no, get the hell out of here. But no, with Azarin, he's very soft when it comes to dominant men, and it's like girls will talk to him, but like he's not looking for them to pick him up. But with the chickens, he's out there trying to beat on them with sticks, trying to poke them, trying to grab them, picking them up with aggression. I don't know what it is. I think he's just got that thing where like he understands when there's a dominant aspect in the room, but when there's something smaller than him, I don't know. It's just foreign because like with the chickens, it's just very weird.
So,
But he also dismantles flies. He will disassemble a fly by the limb, wings, head, body, legs.
that's wild.
No, like he was doing this thing when we were at the other house during the summer because that's where all the flies and fruit flies are out. Like they'll be against the window and he'd catch them. He'd come up and be like, "What this?" And they'd be in his fingers, and he's got it to the point to where like I know he has them. Like he's like, "You're not going anywhere." And then next thing you know, like I'm like, "Put that down." Huh?
This shit would be proud.
And then I'll turn away, and the next thing you know, he's coming back, and he's got them in his hand like this. Hearts.
All right.
You look on the windowsill. Wings. Body.
Oh no.
Leg or two.
Spiders up there like, man, come on. Look in the middle of it.
Oh, he took mine. I don't want to deal with him.
Yeah, man. It's
Silas is gonna be the little kid from Malcolm in the Middle, the youngest.
oh
He's
god.
gonna be the deviant.
What's his name? Dewey.
Yeah.
What's this? Keeps catching my eye.
Oh, that's my clock. Press the button.
Yo. I wish I could see this right now. Oh, still can't.
Well,
And
the
anyways-
screen's small.
anyways. It's a clock. It's a clock on this little thing. It's distracting me. I've been looking at it. It looked like one of the cannons from Mario, so I was gonna see.
We are on the topic of kids today.
I am a child. I am a child. Admit it. Admit it. And now it's 2:10. I know that. Okay, I'm
That
good.
was a very child response.
I keep-
It's 2:10 and I know it now. Wait a minute, I'm gonna count to 58. So it's gonna be 2:11.
Hey, yo, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who would win? Stinkmeaner? Frieza?
Think manner all day. What are you talking about?
What? Now, what's your why? Why is that?
I mean, in a comedic sense, he was presented a second chance from hell. The devil was like, "Nah, you have shown me you've got great strength. I'm gonna go ahead and throw you back in there because I know you got that in you." Frieza he's gone through many types of hell, but none to which he was ever granted a second life.
Right.
So when the highest of the highest of the belows are giving you a second life, yes, you're stronger, hands down. Now Frieza is obviously universally destructive,
Right.
but
That's a hell of a force, man.
you're not that strong if you can't get out of hell.
So it was definitely a lot I had to say about Stink. Endurance and dexterity toward the evils.
Yeah.
He's got that on lock, man.
And as far as their hate for monkeys, he's got the stronger hate.
Oh no, dog. I don't know. Frieza blew up the whole planet.
But he was also letting them work for him. He worked alongside one, Vegeta, when he was little.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was only that, and you know what? He was so scared that he had to destroy the whole planet because he knew they were going to get to a certain point. Think meter is like Cell; he'll take them head on. What you gonna do?
Let them get to their strongest then. I'm gonna let you power up. Then I had to compare the Ginyu Force with the Hateocracy. The Ginyu Force does not stand a chance.
Hell no! Did you see how they was beating on
Bushido Brown?
Grandmaster Bushido Brown?
With that boy's head off, man.
I was about to put fire across your lip.
So then we had to ask, was it more of a grudge holding the match or is it an actual fight match?
What do you mean by a grudge?
Like, who can hold the greatest?
It's got to be a hateocracy.
It is because it's
they
over a
hate-
parking spot.
They hate people, and although they don't really care for Stink Meter, they were like, "Hey, that's our dude from back in the day." So you're not just going. They at the end of it, they're like, oh, we don't give a fuck about him, but that's our homie.
I forgot about that part, but yes,
See,
you're
when you
absolutely
think
right.
about the Ginyu Force during the Namek saga, they all split up. As soon as they found out that each one of their own specific team was getting picked off, they were more worried about themselves surviving than the fact that their teammate dropped.
Yeah, Captain
Mind
Ginyu
you,
went out like the biggest.
they're the Ginyu Force of the Frieza Force. They're not a standalone force of their own. They're under Frieza's army. So
That's
they're the
true.
Ginyu Force under Frieza's army. But when other people of Frieza's army were being picked off, they didn't care about anything but themselves.
Yeah, because they wasn't even there.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Dang. Well,
The hateocracy, they were all for themselves and each
they
other.
were for themselves and each other
Yeah.
at the same time, hating niggas. As long as you hated a nigga, like, hateocracy memory there to embrace you. I promise. Oh, that is one. Except for Uncle Ruckus. Whew. Okay, that was a good question. Back to these kids though. See, we get to stream for as much longer now since I ain't got a All right, I got a question.
Yeah.
Zachary or Azra? Bare Knuckles. Baby Fight
Ooh.
Club.
I don't know, because that's a whole lot of screaming and crying from Azrin, but he has the push of a linebacker. I've seen him launch Kai. Like, it's not like a topple. This man.
That anime where they skip across the
Yes.
ground.
No, like, cause you know how you get pushed, like you stumble or you topple, right? No, when Azrin pushes Kai, and even Silas now, when he's super mad, they're immediately on the ground. It's crazy, and I like
like
caught
that
him
little
in
fella
times.
so much.
So okay, let me tell you this, and it might change your bias. The first time Azrin had a full anger meltdown when Kai was messing with him, the first thing he went and did was grabbed a fork and held it handle and prongs down,
Oh shit!
and he went after Kai. Stabbing motion at the ready. I turned and looked, and I was like, "Hey!" And he was like, "Huh?" Like he snapped out of a blackout and dropped the fork. And I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I was like, "Dude, leave him alone, because you don't even realize what just almost happened to you."
Yeah.
And I think
Damn.
Azrin understands his anger, but like there are points where he knows, like when Kai messes with him to a point to where he wants revenge, Azrin will seek that revenge. He will chase him around the house, climb up and down the bed, go through holes, go under the tables, under the chairs, everything. He will follow the direct path to get to Kai, to hit him, smack him, and those hits. I'm sure Zach has heavy hands, but Azrin's you can hear from the kitchen.
Oh.
If he hits hard enough, if he doesn't hold back, he hits from the kitchen. And I would want to choose Zach, because I know Azrin has these moments where he acts like a fucking crybaby. But I only stay Azrin because understanding his potential now, oh my gosh. I don't even want my oldest nephew, Junior. Well, he's not the oldest, but the oldest one here, fighting Azrin. Azrin gets a hold of a sharp weapon. That's his leg, his stomach. His Azrin, he hits with a downward strike.
Oh.
And if it, like, depending on how far he cocks that bag. So I don't know. I have to know. I have to know where Zach's potential is to really understand
That's
that.
why I have to ask. Tell you, first thing you said was on the whole lot of crying and screaming.
And it just sounds
Zach over like,
But
Zach,
Azrin,
get over there and get him then. He ain't got no brothers. He don't know what that means. Like Ozzy know what that means.
and
You know what I
Azrin
mean?
expects you not to get back up because he doesn't want to do it. We were having a talk about how you were. Azrin's like you. I feel like as much as we know Zach right now, him and Silas are about the same. Silas will hit back, but he'll cry first. Azrin is a standout on his own. Because Kai, I think he's in a sense where he knows something's wrong. He's mad, and he'll try to be sneaky about it. But when it's blatant, like if it's a full-on fight against another kid, I don't think he'll actually want to do it. He has to be
I feel that.
sneaky about it. Azarin, you have to piss him off,
I feel
and
like
it's game over. We're pitting our kids against each other.
I think this is hilarious. Only dads though. Only dads. Moms can't have these conversations
they get
without
pissed.
yeah, don't they?
You really
Don't
think
they?
so? Boy, come here.
They gonna be the ones that had the kids in the ring
Hey,
first. It's
calm
like,
the
bro,
fuck
we just
down.
talking.
No, because she really think. Why are your earrings coming out? I'm just saying. No, stop.
No,
Shut up.
we didn't start again. But Zach actually Zach got his sister scared real quick.
Really?
Willow. She wasn't scared. She's scared to hit him back.
Uh-huh.
She's the oldest. She also has older sisters that are younger sisters.
She's what, 5?
6.
Okay.
7 in March.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she born in 2017. Yes, 7 March. But she doesn't want to hit Zach back, but I tell her to. Or like, you know what I mean? Don't. But she'll kind of. He's still going like, shut up. Like he's definitely a younger brother right now. But I don't know. I haven't seen him. I really haven't seen Zach's like that. Not like lose his temper.
See, that's the thing with Azarin. If I really wanted to give him a boost, I'll have Zach take his food. I'm like, Zach, go take Azarin's food and just Azarin will blow up heavier about food more than anything. Take his food. He's like, hey. He's like, foodie. Don't
That boy
fuck with
hungry.
Azarin and his food. Kai does it all the time. He'll sit there and just touch his plate. He won't go to grab the food because he knows better. But he'll sit there and fuck with him by touching his plate or like messing with his cup. And Azarin's like, no. And he'll start to sit there and cry and like yell and everything. But that's before, because that's the warning. Because once he touches anything, he'll go, don't touch my food. And then I'm like, oh shit. I had to be like, yo, leave him the fuck alone. I'm waiting for them to get old enough to actually start fighting because, like, when they're younger, it'll be annoying because I can just sit there and be like, sit down. When they get older, I'm like, take that shit outside.
You gotta make it look like soul food. Grab them up and then. No, get off me.
No, if they get to fighting in the house, I'm hemming them both up. I'm like, all y'all outside. Gloves up, you're fighting me now.
We gotta get the gloves.
Yeah, no, get gloves. She has a whole bag that I use. Yeah, she used to do boxing when she was younger.
Look, let me tell you something. I'm so glad my dad wasn't a gloves type of guy. Because when I tell you, like, I have a bad temper, I got it from him. I wasn't about to be outside punching on nobody, my daddy. Because for one thing, if we get to that point, he's already mad.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Like, that it cools the fed. Not piss that man off.
That's how I am. I feel like my dad's like too. My dad will have a temper about things, but when it comes to like a full blow up, I feel like him and my brother had a lot in common with me. Everyone kind of like knows not to piss me off, and I'm not saying this like to toot my own horn, but like I have that factor. Like I'll sit and wait. I'm a patient angry, but like when there's that moment where I've got to blow up, it's like leave or deal with the consequences. And there's only been a few people who've actually had to deal with the actual consequences. But
that family member had a moment. I know.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. See, my dad, he till this day, he'll be like, "Oh, Michael was a crazy one when he was little. He'll sit there and stare at you angrily."
You one of them? What was it called? The premeditated crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Because like I've told plenty of times in the bath staff streams, like I can walk into a room and find a weapon with just about anything.
Let me tell you, if anybody wants anything bad enough,
I think we've talked about it too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I ain't got no gun. It's a sock over here. I'll turn into mankind up this motherfucker, man. I don't know, but like Yeah, I'm kind of that way. Kind of scary because
It is.
people don't know how to approach that kind of situation.
Yeah.
So like, you gotta make sure you know what kind of school he's going into.
Yeah.
If he grows up this way, had too much shock hope.
Yeah.
Accepted, not a white or a black. What's going on the buses? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? What's going on? Classroom type of shit.
And it helps. It helps to make the kids aware that those things can happen.
Your kids.
Um.
Your kids.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
other people's
in
kids.
general, like in
Because
general.
other people's kids don't get no lessons.
No, well, no, I mean like in general for everyone.
Oh.
Like for you, it's like you've got yours to tell, and then I've got mine to tell. But like ours, I feel like we have to let them know, hey, if you see something's wrong, let someone know, because something could happen to that person, and then you're stuck with, hey, I should have did something. Or if you feel it's right, intervene.
Mm-hmm.
But never intervene on something that's not your business unless it's really called for. Like if someone's sitting there getting pummeled and no one's doing anything but recording and laughing, get up and do something.
Yeah, you got to get up.
Unless it's like a weapon type of thing, then go get help.
Got a knife.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Real easy to get hurt out here.
Strange world that we live in, where we have to prepare our kids for stuff like that. School shootings, people bringing a weapon to school, what to do when you see a weapon being used on another person. Because each generation, we're like, oh, the times are so much worse than before. And they kind of seem that way, but it's really just history repeating itself. It's just, we keep getting back into these points where we're kind of stuck with, oh, we need to hit that survival instinct.
But right now, black folks is mad because we haven't come as far as we should have, because without being oppressed as bad, without being legally oppressed as.
You think about it in that sense, we've taken a step back because we've really hold on to the fact that like the ghetto belongs to the black people, and that's not something we should be holding on to. It depends on who you talk to.
I wouldn't call it a step back necessarily, because you're absolutely right. It depends on who you talk to. You say Kendrick Lamar is 10 steps ahead of a lot of people, but he wants a ghetto, or so it's said. But he doesn't portray the ghetto mentality.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It wouldn't be a step back because we have, I mean, one of the black community's biggest achievements was Barack Obama becoming president. But then like there's Harvard graduates, there's the ladies who back what was it, 60s 70s, who helped NASA with the space stuff.
Yeah, the Hidden Figures girl. I never watched that movie.
Me neither. But I mean, just like, even before Barack became president, there's so many big things that happen. And then even artistically speaking, there's paint, there's sketches, there's drawings, there's cartoons, there's movies, films, even music, all provided by African Americans.
We haven't given ourselves, I think, if anything, the opportunity to really place ourselves in it. We're not doing it for ourselves. You know what I mean? We're not doing it for ourselves. That's what I said. We haven't taken the opportunity. It was kind of going into the same things we have issue with, where it's always a bias.
I think we're not doing it right, because
I would say that
we've definitely put our place in as an African American community. Everyone knows basketball and football you cannot touch. As any other race, you are the minority. If you're African American, those two sports are yours.
Yeah.
That's just how it's turned out to, because it's kind of like how Africans would be for being in America. Like there's just something that they shoot for. That was the era for Black or African Americans at that time. They wanted to shoot for success, for greatness. They wanted to be good or great. Sorry.
Like I was talking about my pops.
Athletes,
you know what I mean? Where he was coming from.
Muhammad Ali in boxing. Boxing became a thing. Now it's like a Black Mexican thing.
Yep.
But like, I think when I say we're doing it wrong, I think that's the best way to put it, because like BET was a good start. I'll use that as an example. BET was a good start, but I really feel strongly when it comes to Stacey Dash's comment that we don't need to hold on. You ain't even
fine no more, bitch.
We don't need to hold on to labeling things as black. that was her message, but everyone just kind of took it as, oh, so you don't represent black people anymore. You're black. We stood behind you, blah, 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 this and that. That's not what she was saying. What she was saying is that, we don't have to label things as black to get the point across. Like, now we're thriving as African Americans. You should be able to just thrive as an African American. You don't have to label it as a black thing.
Black is almost like a hashtag.
It's unnecessary. Like, you don't have to be the first black person to do anything. Just be the person to do it.
Back to it, because I probably talked about this on here. Chris Rock never really been accepted by black community the way that Dave Chappelle and others that.
Chappelle's not even accepted by the black community.
Not as much. But here's the thing: is Chris Rock as funny as Chappelle? Chris Rock is not all the way.
I think it's just how they deliver it. If you can receive their delivery, I think I can't really put them. Will Dave Chappelle make me laugh? Yes, because he's more goofy than Chris Rock is.
Yeah.
Chris Rock's got that grit, but Chappelle's got that goofiness that I.
Okay. Since they got a special coming out, how would you compare Kevin Hart and Chris? More comparable?
I think as far as delivery, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart's just super goofy. He is viral goofy in a sense that he looks to make things chanted. Chris Rock wants to let you know that I would put if there was a good conversation about comics, I would pit Eddie Griffin and Chris Rock together.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
And it's fair, but Eddie Griffin's just from Kansas City, and he gonna let you a little bit more just outgoing person.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah.
But I say that.
What up, Sean? You good, man?
What
How's
up, Sean? But as far as like,
probably do have to wrap up in like 15 minutes.
45.
It's so good.
What was I gonna say to you? Chris Rock, people accepting him. Yeah, these are the same people that are saying like that's not black comedy.
Yeah,
that's bullshit. That's not black comedy that you're associating, because he had different problems based on the however many show that he had. Explaining that to you as a black man, it's a lot of people with those problems. I relate to Chris Rock on a high level.
Uh-huh.
A level a lot of people don't understand, but that's where I can say I can agree with. Oh, look, man, she used to be so fine.
So here's the thing: a lot of people had the same response that you did. Oh, you're black, and you're saying this about black-owned, things. It's like, what are you doing? But you really have to think about it. Like, don't be so prideful. Like, be understanding. Like, be progressive. With Chris Rock, I hated to hear that he was getting flack about his comedy because he did it wasn't called Hairspray, right?
Yeah.
It was
Black Hair Love. No. That's scary. What did you say it first?
His like
Hair
movie
something.
documentary that he did about black
I know what you
hair.
were talking about.
So he said that, or he did that, right? And then he said the thing about Jada Pinkett Smith, and then everyone was like, "Oh, so this is your comedy, even though you were the one who did the movie about black women's hair."
Hold on. Here's the thing. He gave us Pootie Tang.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Chris Rock gave us a lot of stuff.
He did. Everybody hates Chris as a staple. I don't care what nobody says.
And also, he gave us the reason to actually think a black man could be president. Head of state.
Head of state feels bad, mighty low. Got no place to go. Come
Security.
on, man.
The funniest thing out of that movie when I was a kid, they were asking people who you're gonna vote for, and that black guy with his family, he's like,
"What voting that you voting for?"
I don't know why, but when I heard that, I was like, "What?" As a kid, I was cracking the hell up, man. My stomach was hurting on that.
He also gave us Down to Earth.
Oh yeah,
Down to Earth was
yeah.
But the thing
Just
is,
him in general, like the way he just hits you with that rawness of his delivery on his stand-up.
like people don't watch Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah,
Chris Rock is funny. I don't care what anybody says.
he is.
But take this back to the Andre joint. You have to be able to open your mind in order to say something before you say that it's black or not. Because black runs way more into other situations that
Yeah.
it's like, and that's what people have to understand. You can't tell me I don't have a black experience.
Here's a good example to that. The Kings of Comedy didn't say Black Kings of Comedy. The Kings of Comedy never said Black Kings of Comedy, but they knew what their audience was. But they also knew that the black people were the most people bootlegging stuff.
Eventually, you start to sound like Granddad. He was the first black, the great granddaddy. Like, I do that with my other homeboy Mike. Me and him would walk around the work doing.
I remember like it was yesterday. Granddad, you weren't even a part of that event. Shut your ass up, boy.
Did you bring a raincoat?
This nigga went and brought a motherfucking raincoat. Bet you wish you had your raincoat right now. You son of a bitch.
I'm dead.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, like you can't like. Eventually, like I was thinking about era. You know that racism isn't dead. Off the color of the skin, racism is very well alive.
Yeah.
In the industry, I see so many black kids working to do third. It's not existing. And they fucking up just like the white kid. I hope that we do kind of stop talking about something.
Oh, okay. So saying that, no, you're spot on with what I was gonna want to say. That right there, that one line, Morgan Freeman's interview. There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's a lot of people found that offensive. It's
I loved it.
How could you not raise awareness? What is raising awareness really done?
Really?
Like, and I hate to say that because I don't want to discredit anybody's genuine desire to change something. But raising awareness only opens doors for people to manipulate.
Because raising awareness allowed the media to tell you that the awareness wasn't real. Black Lives Matter told you that the awareness wasn't real because then you turned it to All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. The awareness is there. It's that your naivety doesn't allow you to be open-minded and understanding the fact that there is still oppression even after the oppression was supposed to have been stopped. And for those movements, it only got so far and took steps back. With rap, NWA, all the rappers and all the people in that era who were discriminated against. Jeff? I'm saying his name wrong, and I shouldn't be. Is it King? The one who got beat in the street?
Oh, Rodney King.
Rodney King. Okay. So even that, like that was the first broadcasted brutal cop beating of a black man on live television. That's why it was so big. But then they take things like OJ, then they take things like how Flavor Flav was always in the news for dumb stuff. Like they take all the negatives and they apply it to this, and they're like, oh, well, aren't you guys always in the news for this and that? Like, well, hey, the reason why we even made the news in the first place is because there's a negative image implemented on this certain group.
I'll put that on.
Yeah, and it's like you see that the guys are constantly being beat up, stopped by police, just really abused by police authority, and the only thing you hear is that, oh, they were gang members. There's a label put in front of it, and then like it's just people don't think around things.
On there right after it happens. Awesome.
People don't think around things. They just see so much of it. They're like,
Yeah, you see nobody trying to put up like,
right? Because then they're just like, well, I think anyone who's under that deserves it. Like, wow.
Yeah.
You don't get to say anyone deserves anything.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't say that. That's why it's hard to speak on matters where people are so strong in the awareness thing, i.e., it is thin ice treading gay rights, and
yeah,
they want to tell everybody. They make sure everybody knows in order to get themselves out of situations. Thing,
yeah.
To want to let.
There's a yeah.
Those are things that you have to do behind closed doors because we know how terrible this world is.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I'm not one of them, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be anything done about it. I think harsher punishment should be given to anybody that does crazy to something.
Yeah.
But
that about
Yeah, I just got to sum it up real generally.
Yeah.
But we know what's going to happen. You have to let people know that it's going to happen because
Yeah.
seriously, by shouting at people all the time, you're not getting it.
We have to be a people that is prepared for anything that's already happened. But because, like, if you have that preparedness, you kind of have an understanding of how to be prepared for anything that's new.
But how do you get people? Listen, how do you get
Rules.
people from driving into crowds of people? How do you get people? How do you get men from not battering people, but how do you get women start understanding that these aren't the right? You know,
Take
that
advantage
you
of
have to
the
do something about when that happens.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You take advantage of the time that you're giving kids in school to learn them about awareness.
That ain't gonna work. I ain't got no faith.
And that's where it starts.
I
Honestly,
just
that's
don't.
where it starts.
It's
If
just,
there's a turnaround with how with the generations and how everything can be taught, you teach them in school. Like everyone's been making the same argument. Why are we teaching the fundamentals of an adult to kids in high school? Why are we still teaching them things that they're not going to use?
it's all by design, baby.
Like if they want to learn history, let that be a like a free thing they choose, not a prerequisite. Because what about the history in
all
these
by
books is
design.
actually true? There could be some
Exactly.
truths, but I mean, like,
But at
it's
the same time,
pointless.
you gotta sit and ask yourself though, like I said, how many times have you heard the story of the girl got with that guy? Everybody in her family lined up and talked.
Yeah.
You know
Or
what I mean?
friends, you know,
Or her friends.
because we all
or,
have that nature in our minds when we're young. Like, hey, I'm gonna do it anyway to find out because I think I know better.
It's a certain age. It's like at some point in time because you're going against at one point what I would hope your parents.
Yeah.
It's let somebody know if they're harming you. It's get out of a situation that you don't feel safe in.
Yeah.
And if you get to the point to where you can't do that because of coercion, that's how like I was saying, like people don't understand how real it can get.
Yeah.
That's how real it can get.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I would love to be the person to tell some girl or whoever, you know what I mean, what they need to hear in order to free themselves.
I mean, I feel like that's a really good session to have throughout high school when for all fresh. I mean, like I feel like you can have that through middle school all the way through college, like awareness of defense and like when to put yourself in situations and what to look out for. Like just the complete spatial awareness is
what would you have
guaranteed.
to do to make sure that's in? Because clearly at this point there's never going to be enough kids getting killed or girls getting beat inside those school walls for
Instead of making it an awareness thing every time and after it happens, implement it to be a lesson learned at least once a week, a review once a week.
Now, okay, so how would you go about putting that intact? You got to vote, don't you?
No.
Yes.
No.
That's exactly how you get things changed in the school.
No, because people have voted against things and it never changes. The thing is like,
but that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
that's where it's like you can't tell people that you can't even get a block. We can't even get a block of school institutions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It would be a perfect world, wonderful to happen. But like I'm looking at what I've seen transpire in my life, and it's just like you might try that route.
And you know what? Even if the schools fail you into saying like, if
they fail me big time, thank God.
Yeah.
No.
If the votes fail, which most likely they will, and you know, somebody or some way in the community, there could be someone can take the time to construct like a monthly meeting where they bring in women of all ages, kids of all ages to learn certain things. Like if there is a community center, allow people to fill up any and all chairs, to stand in for like an hour or so to learn and be aware of everything. I understand that if you have it at a community center, you're pretty much just letting anyone who is actually an assailant know.
Walk his ass right through them doors.
Like, cause you're pretty much letting the person who is the assailant sit in on those things. Like, oh, what are you guys aware of? Okay, I'll work around these.
Yeah, I'll work around doing this. I told everybody.
When you give people the tools to be aware, the assailant's not gonna try to use everything that they've learned. They're gonna try to understand you as a person.
So you're talking about like a private,
a public.
Well, no, a public, but in private. To not
okay.
Assailants in.
Yeah.
But guess what? That is something that is offered to people easily because of phone lines and help is. I mean, I don't know how much help it is, but there are systems, there are homes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You have to like literally inside each person
Yeah.
not do.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard. It's like you can scream as loud as you want to, it's so negative of me. Just through my experience and life
No,
walking
yeah.
around this earth, it's
But you're also open-minded to think that someone who actually would make it you could see it through.
yeah. I think
You're just thinking of the
anybody
possibilities.
at all is capable. I believe that until the very breath I don't have in my body. But it just depends on your capacity to
Yeah.
do so and your desire to do. A lot of people like they get to that level where they want to give up. You're already there. That's where those guys hone in on a lot.
Yeah.
Gave up. Oh, I see that one. She ain't got much.
I
But you in
think
here now? You ain't got much will anyway. Come on.
that's a good place to start, though. Like, have depending on how big your city is, have 1 or 2 locations where like, you can host an event, like rent out a venue, host an event to like, you know, encourage people of their community to be a tight knit community and look out for your other person's kids. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to make them know yours. You don't have to care, but care that that person or that person's children, or them kids don't get harmed. And if you see or hear something, like make the necessary call. And like anyone who's living in the so-called ghetto or who's lived the hood life, any like the whole snitching thing needs to just be stopped, because we don't all live the street life, therefore snitching doesn't exist, and it shouldn't exist. If you're not a street person, if you're not a hood person, you just live there, snitching should not matter.
That just means you got to be locked inside.
That's how it should have
Because
always
look,
been.
hey, look, honestly, not a fan of this unless it is directly affecting your family negative. So if you know the neighborhood crackhead, he didn't mess your mama out, or she done spent up your money, sold the TV and 2 couches, tell on that man.
Yeah.
Because he shouldn't be selling crack in his neighborhood anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, if you know somebody, uncle, beating on your auntie and this and that and the third, yes, tell on that man. But if somebody done killed somebody and you don't know what happened, you just seen somebody fleeing.
Don't say it, because you don't know anything.
It's conditional, but I don't think people should take it so far to heart now.
I wouldn't call that snitching. I would just say that's,
clean up the streets.
You're you're trying to give information to which you have none.
You got a little bit of information. You see that man, you don't know who he is.
Right.
Hey, this description.
Yeah. That wouldn't that be called? I feel like that's ratting though, because I heard that was different.
I don't think it's no different. Dry snitching is a different thing. Or you don't have no, you kind of tell about something offsetting way, but you didn't actually say that this person did it, but you gave them information.
Yeah.
Rest type shit. But, I mean, being a rat is probably, I would just say if it was a different personal.
Yeah.
I don't know this, y'all.
Yeah.
But I just know how to stay out of street business. So, yes, this is still vital information. But yeah, no, I don't believe in people being in other people's business to where you would say, we know how this goes.
Actively.
You say snitching's okay, you're going to get a whole bunch of neighborhood watchmen, a whole bunch of George Zimmermans.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I think if you're actively searching for problems, that's a problem. But if you see something happening and you can actually kind of like break down what's going on, say something. Yeah. The what?
The Kyle
Rittenhouse? Oh.
We don't want those. We don't need to have those. It's something.
So to round off this episode, this was a really good one, honestly.
See, I ain't got to work today.
Get better every time.
Gone.
The key to being an adult, seeing kids, thriving kids, or just being around children, is understand how to take your pain, your baggage, and rekindle that childhood wonder so you can be there for any kid that needs it. Because there's kids who are hungry, there's kids who have no love in the house, there's kids who have no discipline, and there's always as the kids walk in.
Is that wet? It's wet.
But yeah, no. And even if it's not kids, look out for each other, because this world is only going to get darker and more negative, and the only way you beat negative and darkness is through positivity and light.
Girls, give me the light.
Any last words from you, my man?
Yeah, man. Love on these babies. remember that you was young once. And yeah, about it.
Another amazing, successful episode. My man Trae here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head out. We did start kind of late today, but that's all right. We were able to extend it because he didn't have work.
I ain't going to
But
work today.
thanks for watching. Hope you were able to sketch out something. I was able to do some pretty cool stuff myself.
I didn't do nothing, so I ain't showing nothing this week.
I'll show mine.
Needed it.
I have 3 different versions of myself. 3 different art styles.
I see you over there with the practice.
Yeah, getting a little better. Getting back to where I was.
Yeah.
A little better.
Hell yeah.
I got a little chibi version of myself. That's what I was going for.
Chibi.
But we out.